so pretend with me for a second that your worst fears have come to pass. You have to pack up and leave everything you love behind. You can only bring with you 5 sewing patterns, obviously your machine, maybe your serger if you can't live without it, but your entire pattern collection has to stay behind. 5 patterns, that's all you can bring. What would you take? Why did I come up with this weird scenario? I don't know. I needed an interesting segue to go into talking about the 5 sewing patterns that I think I can't live without. Like if I had to eliminate every pattern and all that could remain were these 5, what would they be? So I was thinking about this because I have so many patterns. I've been sewing for about coming up on 6 years now. And so my pattern stash is quite healthy and it needs to dwindle down quite a bit. Now, granted, I am not going to whittle my pattern stash or my pattern collection down to just 5 patterns, but if I had to, what would they be? So the first pattern that I put on this list would be McCall's 7983. And this one is an interesting one because this pattern is actually kind of like a wardrobe pattern. So you get multiple pieces to make a complete look. So you have a shirt and you have a skirt, or actually a bodysuit and a skirt. Interestingly enough, I have never sewn the skirt from this pattern and I've never actually made the bodysuit. I have modified the bodysuit to make a mock neck top, say that 3 times fast, and it is the perfect mock neck top for my pattern collection. I make this top at least 2 of them every year, or I've made 2 of them every year for the past 3 years. At this point, I actually made 2 new ones this year to better suit my style and where I was in terms of, just style direction. This is a pattern that is really easy to sew. And I think when I think about patterns that mean the most to me, that go the distance with me, they have to be something that I can make relatively quickly. I don't really enjoy spending days and days and days on a project. I get a little bit antsy. I want a little bit of instant gratification. I want to feel like I have accomplished something and I want to see the fruits of my work. When I'm in here, I want to make it count and I want to be able to look back on the week and say, yeah, I finished that thing. Now, because of that, I do tend to gravitate towards things that have a quicker turnaround, but I also want something that has a quick turnaround, that can be finished well, that can be worn a ton, because my clothes get a lot of wear. And if it is going to be worn a ton, and it is going to be subject to wear and tear, I want it to be something that I can easily repair. And I find that all of those things are true for this pattern. I can sew it up in about an hour. I can sew it up with under a yard of fabric, and it is definitely a wardrobe staple that I keep coming back to and that I keep wearing and repeating. So definitely the first one would be McCall 7983. Now, this is a mock neck pattern, so it wouldn't be as desirable to wear in the summer months. But I was thinking, if I only could take one pattern, I could easily modify the neck of this top to be a lower scoop neck or a V-neck, probably a scoop neck, maybe not a V-neck, but I could definitely drop that neckline to make it more of a scoop neck. I could shorten the sleeves to make them more of a cap sleeve or a 3/4 sleeve. So it's definitely a versatile pattern that if I wanted to, I could get wear out of throughout the entire year. Next, we're going to talk about a dress. And the dress is actually one that I am wearing right now. I'll put in a full body shot, but this is McCall's 8064. And this is a dress that if I had to pick only one dress, I would go with this one. This is a knit dress. It has a V-neck, a crew neck, and a scoop neck. So those 3 necklines enable this pattern to be a multi-seasonal pattern, which we just talked about a couple of seconds ago. It is also incredibly flattering. I've made a couple of modifications to the pattern to make it fit me in a way that I find more flattering. So for example, I've created a seam down the center back, and then I scooped in a part of the center back so that it hugs the curve of my back and there's not a little bit of excess fabric where my lower back is, because that was happening with the original pattern. This is a higher neck version, so I've actually raised the neckline of this pattern to be more of a mock neck. Like I said, in the warmer months, I could drop it if I so desired. I could swap out the sleeves if I so desired. But like I said, I've modified it to fit me the way that I like. I've also slightly flared out the sleeve cuff, so it's fitted, and then it just has a little bit of excess room around my wrist, which again is just a silhouette that I find more flattering. I think I slashed and spread the bottom of the skirt or the bottom of the dress a little bit to give me a little bit more fullness than the pattern originally came with. Not too much, but just a little bit of fullness around the lower part of the skirt, and I love it. I have 7 of these dresses. I don't intend to make more this coming season because I think I have everything that I need, but if I could only have one dress pattern for where I'm at right now in life, it would definitely be this. All right, next we're going to talk about pants. So I went back and forth with this because I don't wear a lot of pants. I tend to wear skirts more than I wear pants. So I was between the Dove pant by Dressmaking Amour and the Clyde work pant by Elizabeth Suzanne. And I ended up going with the Clyde work pant. I was gonna pick the Dove pant, but I've only made one of those and I don't wear them a ton. But when I was wearing pants consistently, and the pair of pants that I want to make in this upcoming season would definitely be the Clyde work pant. I think what speaks to me most about this pant is the cut of the leg. So it's almost like a modern take on a cigarette style pant if you really look at the way that the leg is shaped. It's like a cropped length, so it's not a full length, and it's definitely more fitted around the ankle and a little bit has the slightest amount of volume around the hip area, but then a nice fitted waistband to give you that cinching. When this pant was like heavily in my rotation, I think I made like 3. I don't have any of those pants with me present day because my waist and my hip measurements have changed slightly, so they just don't work for my wardrobe anymore. But when I was very much into pants, it was always the Clyde work pant. And so if I had to pick a pants pattern to take with me, it would definitely be this one. I do plan on making another pair coming up because I want a couple of pants to wear with like my crop sweaters and whatnot. And so we'll see how that goes. All right, next is a skirt pattern, and that is my Jameson skirt pattern. And it's not just because it is my pattern, but I think when you get to make things for yourself that are tailored to your specific needs and desires, you end up with something that you truly love. And this skirt is one of those things. It is a midi length skirt and it can be made in a bevy of fabrics. Right now, I'm tending to make them in more brushed cottons and flannels because of the colder months. It has a curved ruffle hem, which just creates really beautiful movement when I am walking in it. It also has like a little slit feature, which I love a good leg moment. I am learning about myself. Give me a leg moment and I am a satisfied girl. And it definitely has that. It's also versatile in the views. There are 2 views, so you can have 1 slit or you can have 2 slits depending on how I'm feeling. I've even seen someone hack the skirt to have no slits, just that gathered yoke and then a long full skirt, which is already cut out for me and something that I want to try. And so again, I guess what I keep going back to is if I could only have 5 patterns, one of the things that are very important to me is versatility. How many seasons can this pattern span? How many fabrics can it be made in? Like, is this going to be something that I can keep remaking and keep remixing throughout the year to get continued wear out of it? And this skirt definitely checks that box for me. The last pattern is going to be another shirt pattern, and that is Simplicity 7908. Now, I love a good oversized button down, and I feel like, again, this is an incredibly versatile piece because you can wear it as an oversized button down, or I could make this in something like a chambray or a lighter weight denim and have like a shacket style top. It is a very easy like button down shirt to make, which is what drew me to the pattern initially because I don't think it has a collar stand. Does it have a collar stand? Oh, let's see. No, I don't think it has a collar stand. So it just has the collar, and the button placket I think is just folded over a couple of times. The sleeve cuff, the wrist cuff is super easy to construct. It's a really easy pattern to make if you want that tailored look, but you don't want to take the time to apply those tailoring techniques, which that is I want the look of like a structured garment, but I don't really want to put in the effort that it takes to get like a well-tailored structured garment. So this shirt is definitely a cheap version of that. Ooh, the computer's turning my hand. I've made a couple already. I have, I think, 2 or 3 of these. I think I have 2 remaining, and I've given one to one of my sisters that I definitely want to make again. But it's just an easy pattern to make. I like the effect that it gives, and I like the versatility of it. So that would be the 5th pattern that I could take. If I could only take 5 patterns with me and I had to leave all others behind, it would be McCall 7983, McCall's 8064, the Clyde work pant, my Jameson skirt pattern, and Simplicity 9708. I'm curious to know, if you had to whittle your pattern collection down to just 5 patterns, what would they be? Leave them in the comment section below. Do we share any similarities in the patterns? Like I said, I'm very interested right now and invested in patterns that can be multi-seasonal. You don't need a lot of patterns. And I say this as someone who is slowly building out her own pattern collection, but you really don't need a lot of patterns. You need versatile patterns. You need patterns that can span multiple seasons, that can be made in multiple fabrics, that can be made for for multiple occasions. This dress, again, I think this is the 8064. I have a velvet version of this dress that is super fancy and usually what I wear in the holiday season. This is a brush knit version of the dress that is super chill and usually what I wear on a day-to-day basis. There's just a lot that I can do with this single pattern, a lot of looks that I can get, and like more cost per wear ultimately, because patterns are getting more expensive as the days go by. So like I said, let me know in the comment section below, if you only had 5 patterns that you could take, what would those patterns be? And until next time, stay beautiful, make great things. I'll talk to you later. Goodbye.